At Truck and Trailers USA, we have been looking over the last 3 years to keep putting efficiencies in place that allow us to get rid of our products in the most economical but also environmentally friendly way. Whether that was cardboard, whether that was our steel that we get left over from jobs, or even our pallets. And in doing that, we found that there was actually more efficient, more economical, and less environmentally impacting ways to get all this done. And once we started accomplishing that, it grew into solar power. And choosing that direction, we looked at comparable companies in our area that could help us with this, and one of the natural choices was Metro Services.
When Tom first started investigating solar power systems, the representation from others was there's grants available, but we can put you in any size system that you want. Well, that's what opens up a ton of questions for a typical owner. To find a team that we have assembled here at Metro that does the front-end research, that proposes the size project with reasonable return on money. Also doing the grant proposal process, every single I dotted and T crossed is something that nobody else does. And we feel like that's what sets us apart.
Tom wanted to cut his impact on his carbon footprint. He's very conscious about going green. So he came to us and then we researched his electrical bills, his utility costs, his kilowatt hour usage, and decided and settled on this array system that happens to be 33.6 kWs. The first thing we'll do on site, we'll do a shading analysis, which is going to determine the sun path and what kind of shading could result in demeaning our project. So it'll show us if there's any shading obstacles in the way that might affect the array of the system as far as the efficiency of the system. Truck and Trailers is sitting in the best of all worlds. They've got 99% shade free. That's as good as it's going to get. So after we decide the sun hours, we can lay out the array as to the proper direction, the proper angle, so that we get the maximum effect of the sun for the location of which he's set. And once that's determined, then we do the sizing for the wiring. And once the wiring has been drawn up and approved, then we will go into the structural analysis of it, deciding how we're going to mount it to the structure.
We'll generate a 3D model of the building that it's going on. Gives us a palette, so to speak, to work on.
We design our own structural mounting arrangements. We don't go buy a prefab system and try to make it fit to the structure. We go look at the structure and fit something by construction to the structure.
On a typical job, after the final design is complete, we send all the parts, clips, structural steel to our shop for fabrication. Parts are water jetted, formed, and labeled as to where they go on the roof itself. Once the fabrication is complete, the parts are shipped to the job. Our guys are given detailed drawings on how to install the metal supports, on how to put the rubber backing down anywhere there's a roof penetration, and where to install the screws and seal the system so that we do not have leaks.
Once the electrical's in and the structural's in, then we'll start setting solar panels. And after we get all the solar panels set, then we'll start the final wiring connections, wiring in the meter base, wiring in the disconnects, wiring in the inverters. The end result is you're going to get a project that's going to fit your structure. It's going to be electrically designed properly, mechanically designed properly. And we're going to stand behind that and guarantee that.
Metro Services kept me abreast on everything through the whole process. The system that they installed on our property spans approximately 9,000 square feet of our roof space. It's installed on its own platform.
He'll generate 33.6 kW kilowatt hours per hour.
They were able to accomplish this at 92% of what it's rated for. And most solar systems that I've read really only guarantee 80 to 85. So they have actually exceeded all of the industry standards in this installation.
Now he's going to get his return on investment due to the fact that he's going to get a rebate from the state of Tennessee, which is a grant that we've walked him through and he's applied for and has received and has in hand. And also there's a grant from the federal government. This is a big return on his investment right off the bat. Well, by going on the grid, there is a payback from the utility of 12 cents above his kilowatt hour payments. So he'll be paid back from TVA a grid portion for the power that he generates. He should pay back and be completely in the black within inside of 6 years. So he has a great return on his investment.
With solar energy, we're going to have this system up here forever. And it's constantly, every day, whether we're working or we're off. We're closed on Saturdays and Sundays, so now when I go home on Saturdays and Sundays, I know that we're still being efficient, although nobody's there. And that's kind of a neat thing to think about. It never stops working. The meter never stops running. You know, that shows us how much we've accumulated in power generation.
Now's an exciting time to get into solar because everybody wants to reduce their carbon footprint on this earth. Everybody does.
And as more people have heard about our involvement and what we're doing and how we're helping people really understand renewable energy, solar energy, and solar power, it's amazing. We're getting calls from engineering groups and architectural firms, and we've had a lot of interest, a lot of activity. So we think what we're doing with Tom has really opened a lot of people's eyes.